Hello my pen friends and welcome to the channel again. This is the second video of the series in which I'm taking you on a tour to visit the pen factories that I visited while I was in Italy. It's time for our second factory. And our journey, mine and Stefano, started with us boarding the train from Rome to travel to Florence. Let's start first with some facts about the company. The name of the company alludes to the straw that was broken by the ancient Romans in a sign of accepting an obligation. And that name is STIPULA. STIPULA is a pen manufacturer based in Florence and established in 1973. So they are well over 40 years of experience into pen making. They do not make pens only for themselves. They are doing for very high luxury brands like Gucci and like Cartier, and you guys are going to see these projects in the coming video. So I think we should not waste time anymore and introduce you to the morning that our journey started. Guys, we just got off the train and here is Luca and he is coming to pick us up from the train station. Ciao!
Hello.
Luca, Emy.
Buongiorno, ciao.
Buongiorno, ciao.
Benvenuto.
Knowing that ahead of us stood a very hard day of work, me and Stefano entered a coffee shop and had a coffee, and I asked for a double espresso. That double espresso kept me awake for 2 days, so be careful when in Italy you are asking for a double espresso. Expect a very strong coffee. The person you just met is Luca, the head of operation of STIPULA, and he drove us from the train station to the headquarters of the factory. Let's resign to the visit. I want to welcome you guys to the STIPULA factory. We have here Luca.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. It's very nice to have you here today.
Yes.
Emil.
Thank you. We had a nice conversation on the way to here, and we are going to enter the factory and see more of the operation inside.
Yes.
Luca,
Okay.
can you head
Follow
away?
me.
Yeah.
Follow me.
I'll follow you. I followed Luca and he brought me to the first floor of the company. Right down the hallway as we entered there was a desk filled with accessories that STIPULA produced prior to making pens. Then we entered into a very big room in which Luca said that they are drawing ideas to pen designs and they are keeping their meetings over there, and he called this room the Ideas Laboratory. I cannot explain this better in words than to let you see the room and, I don't know, make your idea out of it.
Well, we used to make also desk accessories
And stationery.
in the 70s.
This is such a nice view.
Yes, this is the Segnal Attribution made back in
This one, right?
2000. Yes.
It was a very beautiful pen.
Yes.
Amazing. Not to take away anything from the experience, I will not interrupt this coming video no more. So I want you guys to have the same experience that I had while I was glaring in every showcase and finding little bits of history and pens and everything that has to do with pen making. So I hope you guys enjoy this and watch it, because me and Luca talked about everything from pens to flex nibs and how they are making their flex nibs, and also a very detailed process phase by phase in which Luca explained how celluloid is made, and also shared some examples of the material in every phase. Let's watch it together.
Please come.
Okay. So this is
Yeah, we have two floors. The factory, actually the headquarters, which we are now visiting today, are in the middle of Florence, in the center of the historic town of Florence, Costa Scapuccia. There we have basically accounting, finance, and some of the services, general services for the company. Here we have the factory, 2 floors right now, plus a warehouse which is outside of this building, just across the alley there. And the upper floor where we are now is mostly a showroom, let's say, an ideas laboratory, okay?
This is where creative minds come to
Yes, we have a collection of materials, prototypes, products, anything that had been involved in the past in the process of creating pens, writing instruments, or something related to this. And so you can take a tour here.
Yes, we will continue with the tour. What does this is a film machine?
This is a, yes, old projector
For projecting
films,
sketches?
cinema films, yes.
Or cinema films?
Yeah, yeah. Not working now. I mean, it's still working, but it's not connected.
This is such an interesting and
Yeah,
vintage
it's an
piece.
original piece from the, I think the 40s.
And
Still working until I think middle of the 70s. Somewhere in Italy, yes.
this is the
This
real
is a celluloid film.
Yeah, the celluloid film.
Yes, the actual film. We have some here. This is how a film will look like.
and this
Until a
is
few
how it
years
is
ago.
stored inside this big trays because
Yes.
it's so flammable.
Yes, yes.
So this is a place we are not allowed to smoke.
For sure. Not only for this reason. This is a celluloid film that was
Yes.
used for cinema movies.
Yeah, yeah. In
Until
the
a
old
few years
days.
ago. In the old days. Today everything is digital, but in the old days you had projected through this very thin celluloid film all the
And
pictures.
also, when people said that they are editing films, they are doing with scissors and they are
Exactly.
gluing.
Exactly. They were gluing from actual films like that.
This is such an experience for me to see everything. I've seen some retros. Do you guys work with them?
Yes, we collaborated with Retro until a few months ago as a distributor in Italy. And we are still distributing Caveco for Italy. We are selling Caveco in this country along with our products.
Understand. This is some vintage desk, wood desk.
Yes, some vintage stuff. That's vintage Caveco, just for your collectibles eye.
And I have to say that I didn't see any of this online till now. This is a small Caveco pen and ink collection. And we have a huge Caveco nib.
Yes.
Also, it's a very nice presenting
Yes,
box.
we were doing some inventory of these pieces. You were mostly finding the pieces which were that window leaning on this desk.
Wow. This is huge.
Yes, it's huge pen made for a customer of ours a few years ago.
It's an Asian market
No,
customer?
really. In fact, this was sold in Italy by our customer, only in Italy. Incredibly true.
And also, what is this pen?
This one is a prototype pen that then became an actual product sold in the occasion of the China
Year?
Olympic Games.
Oh, the Olympic Games.
Yes. Sports specialties mostly pictured portrayed in the pen are the ones that Chinese sportive people are most fond of.
So nice.
See the gray wall here, by the way.
That runs around the pen?
Yeah, not all around the pen, but from one point to the other in the barrel.
So nice. I will have to take some pictures with the camera,
Sure.
maybe, and see better. And on this display,
We've done, and we're still doing a lot of OEM products and collaborations. So what you're seeing there and some of the windows is products that we made in time for other brands, like for instance Gucci there, Chopard, you know. You have some of the Chopard products that we made, Twister
so
collection.
exquisite.
All the capless system applied there.
This is the twist one with the nib retractable.
Yes, the Twister, so-called Twister in their collection. Miniature painting pens.
It's a maquillé.
No, this is miniature, Florence miniature on pens.
This is drawn freehand, I believe.
It's,
But-
yeah, sure. It's
Also
an
with-
individual painting which takes place on the pen based on this technique, which is an old technique, a miniature technique, going back to the Middle Age in Europe. Nothing to do with maquillage, but basically it's the same thing made.
It's our maquillé.
It's our maquillage.
This we have. Is this celluloid?
No, this is an acrylic.
It's an
material.
acrylic.
Similar effect, but acrylic. We are trying different ways of suspending materials
Inside
into the clear acrylic.
I have to say that I'm seeing here a few piston filling mechanism, and you will always see on my video about Stipula, they are making the best piston filling mechanism I ever tried. This is the strong selling point of a really great fountain pen, the filling mechanism. As piston goes, believe me, I will always choose Stipula for that. We have some of different pens. Here we have the passport one.
Passaporto, yes.
Yes, I've seen this.
With the new type, which is called, this is a very affordable new type Passaporto, which is called the Superleggera.
Superleggera means
Super light.
Super light.
Super light. This is only, and not, let me show you the clear one. Maybe it's easier to understand. Superleggera allows you to have a high capacity
And
in a very
high
small pocketable pen.
portability,
High portability. The impact of the pen is basically that it takes about 3.5 equivalent cartridges of ink inside. We
But it's
provided
small. It's much more smaller.
it's much
than,
smaller.
If
so
you
it's-
had to put 3 cartridges on top, it would release that
Oh yeah,
tall.
yeah,
And you can have the same ink capacity
Exactly.
in the small.
exactly. So we provide the user with a starting set of inks from the tubes, and the eyedropper just for his
for-
own inks in the future.
Yes. And this is a few pieces of
Yeah,
this
these
collection.
are different stages of this collection that goes back to more than 10 years ago now. Passaportes had a long way until today.
And this is, I believe, one of
Etruria, some
my
of the
favorite
Etrurias,
models.
yes.
The Etruria. I'm
Yeah, this is one of the oldest types. The first Etruria basically had this look. Acetate of cellulose
Yes.
initially, and massive 9-karat gold. The trims are made of actual gold. It's not plated.
I've heard Stefano talking about you guys trying to improve the process of manufacturing nibs, and you guys are playing with the alloy and the
Yes.
content of gold
Yes.
and the ratio of gold, and it is a constant work and progress, and you guys
Yes.
trying to elevate the capabilities of the old vintage mix of gold ratio to implement in the flexible nibs.
Yes, because you know we have an old recipe for the best alloy compatible with the tools that we are using.
And I'm sure we
But
are
it's
not
not-
going to find out the recipe.
No, but it's, I mean, the problem is not the recipe. The problem is the handling of the band, the handling of the actual manufacturing process.
I understand.
The problem today is that if you are going through the standard purveyors of alloys, of gold alloys, unless you make your own alloy inside, which is possible, we can do, but of course it's not worth doing. So if you buy on the market, normally the alloys are not alloys which are conceived for high flexibility. Elasticity is not a priority for those who make alloys for goldsmith
It's about that
manufacturing.
spring back.
Springback is not a priority.
No?
The priority for just making an alloy is making an alloy that allows you to form, to make a shaping of the material as easily as possible. So the more copper you use, the more copper, you know that an alloy of 14K is made out of gold, fine gold of course, for 585 thousandths of the alloy, and then the rest is basically silver and copper. But depending on the ratio between silver and copper, you obtain more or less malleability, you know, and
in a material.
yes, an easy or not easy to form, to shape alloy. The problem is that today most of the producers, alloy producers, will not allow you to make what you have in mind, unless you buy a lot, very big
Yes.
quantities. But we're not speaking of big quantities in our field. We're speaking of pretty modest compared to what they are normally doing.
I understand that the Stipula it's a little bit small company.
But in
which is-
general, the gold nib is not a priority in the market of
I understand.
precious metal producing.
I'm sure that we should keep along and see
Yes.
anything else. Okay, let's go to see more of it. So there you are. I thought I lost you. What do you think about the Stipula Ideas Laboratory? Personally, I love it. But share your experience in the comment section below. The following part of the video is about the process of making celluloid and everything about pen materials. Let's roll with it. We also have a table filled with example of materials. We have ebonite here, so many colors. I believe this one is the rosewood, this one it's the green one, also this one, the blue ebonite, or I believe that this is acrylic, I do not know yet. We also have the acrylics and a lot of new materials that the guys from Stipula are experimenting with. So beautiful, so nice, superb. This is ebonite. Also we get to the celluloid. Luca, is this celluloid?
Yes, this is Celluloid. Quella è stata sfruttata per farci anche Soroglia, che è un dipinto di questo pittore su cui abbiamo dedicato una serie.
And this is resin.
Look, this is a very short, how to say, guidelines about celluloid making. Okay, this is a sample of cotton fiber,
Yes.
which is the initial material that you're using for
The raw
celluloid.
material.
The raw material. You have here the first stage. Cotton fiber is plastified with camphor,
Yes.
and you get this material. You see it here, a block.
This is the raw celluloid.
This is the raw celluloid without colors.
without colors.
The natural color celluloid is a yellowish color like this, and it's a gummy material. Now it's
It's hard, but
because
in
of
the
the time.
manufacture process, it is more gooey.
Absolutely, it's like a rubber, you know, initially. Then what happens is basically the coloring, you know, you have different blocks. From
They're-
that color,
they're
you add the
mixed.
pigments, and you end up having blocks which have a color, individual color. Brown, yellow, red, each one is a block. At that point, the celluloid processing implies that you are cutting, shaving,
Adding, gluing everything together.
not gluing. They are not using glue. They are actually heating the different configurations from the different blocks. Okay.
And
Say I'm cutting the first color brown in stripes, in very thin stripes, and then I'm taking the red and I'm shaving very thin. Okay, and then I put together stripes of brown and a shade of red, stripes of brown and a shade of red, and stripes of brown and a shade of red, and then press everything with heating and high pressure, and obtain what? A final block of material, which is similar to this, say, okay?
I understand.
But no gluing.
And
It's
this-
not gluing. They compact to each other
The-
because of the pressure and the heating. Okay?
I
And
understand.
from these,
cut in squares, then turn on a lathe.
exactly. You have a big block again. You cut in sheets, basically, of this thickness normally. From the sheets, you cut square pieces like this, say, more or less.
Yes.
And then from these, you make rounded rods. That is what you're needing for the lathe machine, because we are turning pens, basically.
Yes.
At least traditionally, the turning process is the basic manufacturing process.
Okay, so this is the entire process of making celluloid, right?
Yes, except the curing which I've
curing.
not spoken about.
That
Curing is like having a material
that is
that
constantly
initially-
working. It is constantly working.
Yes, constantly working and keeps the size. This is fundamental for mechanical processing. that is implied in making a pen. But to be able to make it keep the measures, you need to make it stable enough in terms of volatility of the material. There is a part of the material which is volatile that becomes
flammable.
Well, it's flammable because of other reasons, because of the
preservative
of the
used.
cellulose content of it. But the problem is that the camphor, which is a plastifier, the camphor which you're smelling in celluloid, has to come off the material before you can really have it hard enough. Like this is a material which is now workable on the lathe machine.
Because it's hard.
Because it's hardened.
Yeah.
But when it's freshly made, it's very soft and it has a lot of camphor inside. It smells of camphor like crazy, okay? But because of that, it's also very gummy and not stable when you manufacture. You cannot manufacture because it's not hard enough, but even if you could, it would be totally...
it could warp.
It could warp, exactly, and would change
warp.
dimensions.
Yeah.
You cannot really work out.
Can we see more of the factory?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Unfortunately, this is as much as I can fit inside one video and still make this entertaining for you guys. So join me for the second part, in which I'm going to show you the operations and a very special process in which I'm going to show you the nib making process from a bare sheet of alloy to a writing nib. Thank you for watching this. Also, if you guys liked it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and support me doing videos like this. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.